All right, you guys have waited long enough. I'm here. Today's video is going to be all about what happens when the lights go out in the women's prison. So if you're interested in hearing the juicy details about what happens when the lights go out, just stick around. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance on hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is having a good week already. I love you guys. Can I just tell you guys that I really appreciate you guys and love you guys. A couple little announcements in my famous long intros. First thing is, I've had so many of you guys tell me that YouTube is unsubscribing you to me. YouTube about to catch these hands right here in the name of Jesus, Lord. Also, I've also been hearing that you guys are not getting your notifications with your bell on. YouTube, you about to meet me outside, bro, okay? And we're gonna talk about it because I don't do that anymore. Also, I've heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, because YouTube is not very good at like calling them and talking to them and like giving you advice. Matter of fact, you can't call them at all. There is like no customer service number, so we're all alone out here. But I've heard three other YouTubers tell me in the past week that the more you upload, the less YouTube starts recommending your videos. And that's even to your own subscribers. Like, that is bonkers to me. So please make sure you have on your notification bell if you want to, you know, see videos from me. When you click the notification bell, just hit all. And I don't know what to do, so I'm really still thinking that through. But if you're not seeing my videos in your feed, and if you're not getting a notification, that's why. It's YouTube's fault. All right, so let's just get right on into this video. All right, so what happens when lights go out in prison? Now, first I want to tell you a couple things. It's going to always depend on what dorm you're in, what's going to go on. Not everything happens the same in every dorm, okay? If you were in a dorm with a bunch of old timers, let's say you got a dorm full of 100 women, right? My prisons were open bay dorms, and that means that it's a big warehouse-like room with a bunch of beds and bunk beds in it. It's not single cells, okay? And I personally think that's because Florida is so overrun with inmates. We lock up so many people here in Florida that they don't have the capacity to let everybody have, you know, double-man rooms or four-man rooms or wherever it's like where you're from. So it's a big open bay dorm. So if you're in an open bay dorm with 100 women and you've got 30 or 40 old timers in there, and that's people that, you know, have been down 30, 40 years, or they've got a long time and they're kind of settled in their ways, they're not going to let you get wild and crazy because they want to sleep. This is their house. You know what I mean? Like, this is their home. They're not just here for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and they're here to do their time or cut up while they're here, because a lot of women in prison have a good little time in there. Like, they cut up, they do things, they do whatever. So if you got a bunch of old timers in there, it's going to be quiet at nighttime because they ain't about that life. But if you get into a dorm like one of the ones that I was in, and you've got like 1 or 2 old timers in there, it's a party, okay? So that's the first thing. So we're going to start off with this dorm that I was in. The second thing that you're going to have to think about is the type of nighttime COs you have. When it's the weekend, which we call party time in prison, okay? Usually on the weekdays, it's pretty lax because everybody's got to get up and go to work in the morning. But usually Friday nights, Saturday nights, and a little bit into Sunday nights, because they like to party all weekend up in there. If we have the right COs on, it's going to get crazy. Now, what happens with these COs is you either have the 1 or 2 different type of COs. You have the COs that are going to be in there in the guard station on their cell phone all night. They don't care what you're doing as long as you are not hurting anybody, you're not being too extremely loud. They're in there on their cell phones. They don't care. They're not coming out. They're not doing their walks. They don't care. They may peek out there, look, tap on the window and say, They know what we're doing, and those are usually the cool COs. Honestly, the nighttime COs are usually the coolest, but they don't have to have a lot of run-ins with us, so they don't really care, right? And we know this because at nighttime, when we're in the bed, when they have shift change, we're all laying in the bed waiting to see who the CO is that's going to walk around, so we can know if it's time to get up and parlay or not. Also, you have to understand that us as inmates, we are watching. We know the CO's schedules. We don't have anything else to do. We can tell the pattern. Okay, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, this CO works, okay? And sometimes we'll have a party planned and that CO is taken off for vacation because of course they don't check in with us and say, hey ladies, just letting you know I'm going on vacation. They don't talk to us like that, okay? So we're ready. We know what it is. Or you're gonna have the second type of CO, and those are the ones that sleep in there at nighttime. Yes, yes indeedy. We peek around, we know, oh, there goes Miss B. We know in an hour she gonna be in that chair, kicked back with her hat down over her eyes and her feet up on the little desk in there, and she's gonna take about a 6-hour nap, and it's gonna get wild and crazy. So this is the type of night that I'm gonna tell you about, is having one of those type of COs, okay? On the weekends, so we know it's gonna be party time. A lot of the times, a lot of us will like cook stuff, we'll make our fudge, we'll make our food, and we'll have it in our chest, right? Because when it's time, the lights go out, we're about to party. We're gonna have a club scene. We're gonna do all that. We'll have different bed areas that we'll call the club, right? So like maybe over at my bed, this is so ridiculous to think about, but it helped pass the time, guys. We all have like our little Sony, that's what you can buy on the canteen, these little like $50 Sony headphone sets. It's probably $5 on Amazon right now, and it's just one of those little dial things that you can hear the radio station, and then you get your little ear things. And then so I'll have a radio, we'll all 6 of us will be sitting, so you've got 2 bunk beds, right? And you've got like 3 women on one bottom bunk bed, if they get permission to sit on your bed, which in these instances it's usually like this. 3 women sitting on one bed, 3 women sitting on the other bed, and we're all looking at each other, and then we're all sharing radios, and we got our little headphones in, and we're like eating our snacks, we're dancing, we're pretending like we're at the club, we're talking about what we gonna be doing, we're talking about our man, we got our pictures of our men, and we're just like in a fantasy world, like we're pretending that we're just having a good time, and we kind of are, like it is like a little bit of a good time for in there. So you're gonna have different club scenes set around all around the dorm. You are gonna probably have a good 20 people that's gonna have their toilet paper in their ear. They don't want to be bothered, or they weren't invited to the club. They're not on the cool kids list. And they're sleeping with their toilet papers in their ear, and they're trying to go to sleep, and they're huffing and puffing and irritated because we're over there causing a ruckus. You're also at nighttime gonna hear a lot of scurrying from bed to bed. Giggles. And you don't know what that scurrying is, okay? That could be one person going to another bed to go to a club scene. That could be one person going to another bed to go to a relations scene, because that's, we gonna get there, okay? So you're always gonna hear scurrying at nighttime on weekends. Then you're gonna have the beds, the different beds or the bunk beds that's playing cards. You're gonna have 4 people. They're gonna have their little chest pulled away from the wall, which you are not allowed to do. You're not allowed to move your chest, but at nighttime, when we got these COs on the weekends, this is what we do. We put the chest in the middle, and then you'll have 2 people on one bed facing the other 2 people on the other bed, and they're playing cards and they're getting down. A lot of times they got their radios in their ear too, so they're imagining in their mind probably that they're at home, right? They're playing cards up all night, you know, cutting up, you know, whatever. You're also gonna have the beds of the people that have hooch. So there's always going to be a few people that have hooch. So they could be playing cards, drinking the hooch. So they're getting lit, they're getting drunk. And then you're going to have people that's doing the club scene that have hooch. Matter of fact, me and Donna, I think I've told you guys this before, me and Donna made a hooch when we were in prison. We were in the same dorm at one point for a little bit before she got transferred. I actually got to that prison before her, so I was there longer than her. And she left before me because she got transferred in the middle of the night. And when you get transferred in the middle of the night, that's such a sucky thing because you have no idea what's going on. Like, you may be at your prison and you may be, you know, working your job or in a class or, you know, doing whatever, and then they just come and tap you in the middle of the night. Pack your beep, let's go. And you're like, what? You're like, you know, this is obviously during a weekday. They don't do transfers on the weekends. They don't want to interrupt our club time. No, I'm just kidding, but they don't do transfers on the weekends. So, you know, come and tap you and you go, what? And you're throwing all your stuff in a big plastic bag. That's how you pack. They ain't giving you no suitcase, honey. And then you don't know where you're going. You're getting strip searched, you're getting handcuffed, you're getting shackled, and you're getting into a paddy wagon, or a bread wagon as I like to call it, and you're getting transferred and you don't know where you're going. So the other thing that you are gonna see happen in the middle of the night is a lot of relations. And I wish that I could really tell you guys and describe to you guys the things that I've seen. Why am I choking up here? But good old YouTube's terms and policies, hashtag bring the old YouTube back, puts me in a small box of what I can say, so I'm gonna try my best. The thing about relations in prison is you're gonna have a multiple different type of people. You're gonna have the kind of people that don't care if you see them. If you don't like it, look the other way, and you better not tell on me, because if you tell on me, we go into lock type of vibe. And then you're gonna have the type of people that wanna be in private. The older women that get down are usually the ones that like their privacy. They'll get up in the middle of the night, they'll go to the last bathroom stall in the bathroom. I've told you guys this before, but if you're new here, I'll explain it to you. In the prisons that I was in, when you walk into the bathroom, you have to walk past the guard station. And when you look in, you're gonna look straight down, and there's gonna be like a long hallway-like thing. But on the right-hand side is a bunch of toilets. And there's like these little cement things in between the toilets, just enough to really cover your butt. I mean, you can see each other. There's no privacy. There's no doors or anything like that, but it's just enough to kind of cover your butt. Like if I'm out of toilet paper and I can say, hey, hand me some toilet paper. It's like that type of thing, right? You're pooping right next to each other, to be frank. And then on that little thing, so you've got the toilets, and then on the right here, you're gonna have all the sinks, and then there's a wall, and over that wall is all the showers. So they may go into that last toilet stallish thing, or they may go into one of the little shower things at the end. And if you go into that shower at the end, you can lean up against the wall and not shut the shower curtain. So, I mean, because of course, if a CO gets up and walks around and all of a sudden there's a shower curtain closed, that's gonna be a red flag. But if you lean against that wall, when the CO gets up and just kind of looks around, she can't see you. So a lot of the old timers will go in there to do their business. You're always gonna have a chick in the dorm who will get down with anybody and everybody, will eat you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just because she enjoys to do it. She'll come and tap on your bed. She's done it. The one in my dorm specifically has done it to me. She's done it to other people that I know, but I won't put nobody's names out there. And just be like, dang it, I can't say what I want to say. She'll just straight up ask you like, hey, can I do you? Anyways, and you'll say yes or no. And she's the type of chick, you can be sleeping on the top bunk, honey, and she just wants you to throw your feet around on the side of the bed, and she'll just stand right there and pleasure you for real. Like, it's just how it goes. And like, no shade, no hate, no tea, baby girl, do your thing, you know, do what makes you happy, and everybody else, like, there's no judgment from me. I'm just telling you guys the truth. Then you're gonna have the couples, you know what I mean, that are in the bed, that are under the covers, you know, because at nighttime you can really get away with a lot of stuff, especially if you're at the back of the dorm. And that was the thing, is like I told you guys, like my bunk was in the back corner. I had one of the sweetest spots in the room, which also made me a big target for the COs, because they always thought something was going down over in my area, because it's a hard spot for them to see from the window, which there was usually stuff going on over there. Probably not what they were thinking, but you know, there was stuff going on down over there. But you know, over in those back areas, you've got women that are like laid in the bed together, cuddling, hugging, you know, just trying to get that few little minutes in of intimacy. And I've told you guys this before, that like when you have a relationship with a woman in prison, or a guard, or whoever you're having a relationship with, it's not like you would see it on TV. It's not like how you see it on Orange is the New Black, where it's like all passionate and you really get to lay with each other. Even when these women are crawling in the bed and like laying down for a few minutes, it is so high tense. They're always on edge if they hear anything that sounds like a key, because if you open or shut your trunk, there's a metal flap on it, so it kind of makes a sound like the guards' keys that hang on their waist do. So anything you do is like, I gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up, gotta get up, and it just ruins the moment. So there's never any like real like passionate intimacy in there. Everything is quick and in a hurry. Then you're gonna have, I hope I can say this word on here, I hope I don't have to cut this out, orgies. yes, this really happens in the females' prison at nighttime. Sometimes, I mean, it's not like it's every night or whatever, where you'll have 4 or 5 girls sitting around in a bed and they're all just like hands in pants or, you know, doing whatever and getting down. I know that this probably is, some of you guys are not wanting to hear this, but you guys clicked on this video, so this is the truth. I do want to get some women on here that I was in prison with and kind of co-sign on some things with me. I've been talking to a couple. Whenever I go and do my meet and greet in Orlando, I'm actually going to have one of my girls with me that was in prison with me. She was actually in the YO program there. She was across the fence, but we became friends and we're very good friends to this day. She actually even flew here to be in my wedding. She read the prayer at my wedding. We're very, very close to this day, and she will be in Orlando with me. So if you're coming there, you're going to get to meet her. Her name is Alex and she's amazing. But yes, so those are some of the things that goes on when the lights go out. That is that type of thing, the partying type of thing. If you want to talk about like fights at nighttime, I've told you guys this before, that people do get hit with locks and socks. People do get jumped at nighttime, but this video is more of talking about this type of vibe. Now, when people are playing cards at nighttime, like I was telling you guys about, they will fight sometimes and they'll throw it out, they'll duke it out, we'll separate them, the guard's still sleeping in the station, and then, you know, they go back to business or they don't talk to each other for a few days or whatever. When everything is kosher, like this environment I'm telling you about, when we're having like a club night where everybody's kind of got their own thing going on in their own little area or whatever, it usually flows pretty nicely. Everybody's usually in a really good mood and nobody wants to disrupt that. When somebody gets hit with a lock and a sock in the middle of the night is when there's nobody awake. And that is because there's no room for anybody to snitch on you, right? Nobody's going to come up and hit you with a lock and a sock. First of all, most people are awake in these type of nights that I'm telling you about. So you're not going to catch somebody slipping because they're already awake playing cards, having an orgy, you know, having a club scene that like went on at my bed. We did the club scene a lot where we cooked food up and we had the food ready at my bed. We had the radios. We would be over there dancing, telling stories. I'd be able to like, man, one time when I was at the club, when I was out, you know what I'm saying? Because I was 21 then. And I told you guys this before, that I was a club bunny before I went to prison. Like I was in the clubs all the time. I was very well known in my town. Even when I was underage, I could walk up to a club. I'm not joking, you guys. There's people that watch this that have known me for 20 years, okay? I wouldn't have no reason to sit up here and lie. Like people that know me in real life watch my videos. But there'd be like a line wrapped all the way around the building and I'd be 18, 19 years old, walk straight up there and they would click, pull back that little red rope thing and let me and anybody that was with me in for free and without an ID. And so I was like really big into the club scene. So I would always be at the bed telling stories about crazy stuff that happened when I was at the club. Man, this time this happened, this time that happened, da 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 da. We listening to music, we eating snacks, we talking about what we gonna do when we get out. Because remember also, I told you guys that before I had my spiritual awakening, I had no plans on changing. Like I thought I had it going on. The only thing that I wanted to change was to do it a little bit differently so I don't get caught, right? And I always thought that, you know, because I always got in trouble for fighting, that if I just didn't put my hands on anybody, that's it. As long as I don't put my hands on anybody, I will never get in trouble again. But boy, was I wrong, because if you're still hanging out with the same people, doing the same things in the same places, you're still going to have the same result. You really have to change everything if you want change. So yeah, I hope that was very entertaining for you guys, to let you guys know what happens when the lights go out in the females' prison. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys want to hear from me next. I've really been working on some stuff that I think you guys are going to find very interesting, and I think you're going to like it. So let me know. Please don't forget to like this video. It's a free way that you can help your girl out. And until next time, I love you guys so very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.